We have a potential best of three between Ulysses and Matador here. Who will actually stay in the tournament? Somebody's going home today. We already got Mini Yeti going home. Will Matador or Ulysses go home? We got 4 minutes before we start. Freyr against Kronos. Finally, we get some Freyr action for the day. I'm loving that. We've had a decent amount of Norse, so yeah, we know how much of a fan of Freyr you are.
I
Um,
love this god. This god's so fun. Okay, go on.
well, I think Freyr against Kronos. You would think that Freyr against Kronos would be a-okay for Freyr. You got Golan Bursty for any type of early aggression.
Hmm.
Right, you can, if you get an early enough advance, that should cut off the cheesy aggression from Kronos. But there's still plenty of follow up that Kronos has in his bag of tricks after that, and that's where Freyr maybe needs to answer some questions. So it seems like Freyr is a-okay, but I said it earlier today, Boyd. Time and time again, I underestimate Kronos, and people seem to pull out wins where I don't think there are any. So, what's your take?
Well, El Matador played a game of the opposite, the flipped matchup, Kronos versus Frap, and he lost
Mhm.
in 8 minutes or so. So there is
Oh,
some
that's right.
very, very easy ways, quick ways to go wrong in this matchup. There is a build order that Freyr players use, which is to get early echo ops, and it slows their advance time down by 15, 30 seconds. You don't have to go for that build. You can go for a standard Norse build and then grab your eco ops a little bit later, and then you'll be able to be in the classical age. You're going to be able to have the defense against early stuff, and you're not going to have such a rough time. So I guess a little bit of adaptability from the Freyr player, cut that sort of weakness out, and then we see exactly what happens. That's my guess on the matter. In terms of what some other crazy shenanigans that Cronus has got access to that Freyr's got to be a little bit worried about, maybe 6 oracles, 7 oracles sort of openings for Kronos into a mass amount of Prometheans with Cryoballister behind it and some Catapulties. That can be scary as well for Norse players to deal with. We were talking about it before. We were watching Soup stream. That sounds to me to be very, very scary as a playing as Norse. What do you think?
Yes, of course. I think there's maybe a possibility. I personally don't really believe heavily in it, but there's maybe a possibility for the early Huskarls through Asgardian Bastion to
Yeah.
to really complicate things in terms of Kyro Ballista. The thing is with Kyros, if you keep them alive, those things can shred Norse, right? But you got to keep them alive. They even if some raiding cavalry get into, even if RC get in there, they can pick off Kyros pretty quickly. Huskarls too, and the Catapulties don't counter the Huskarls. So that's where maybe there's some advantage for Freyr in that regard. Um, but you have to get your Asgardian Bastion up. You have to start getting the numbers out, and so on and so on. So I don't know. There's some. I'm kind of liking Freyr here, but like I said, I've underestimated Kronos plenty of times before. So I don't know. I don't want to go too into the Freyr boat.
Yeah, well, I guess we're going to be finding out very, very shortly which way these guys are going to take this matchup, because we're going to be going onto the map Oasis momentarily here. El Matador, Ulysses, last chance here. You lose last lifeline, I should say. You lose this game, you go home. You win this game, you're into the next week. Let's get in onto the map Oasis and see how it's going to go. And we're back in the top of the map here in the red color, playing as Kronos. His name is El Matador. On the right hand of the map, playing as Freyr. His name is Ulysses.
Okay, well, I want to see the resource options for Mr. Freyr here. The forward gold mine, that's a little bit sketchy, but there are some towers there, boy. There's some forests there to help him
Yep.
kind of set up some defensive possibilities. We already talked about Golan Bursty, so I'm not super concerned about that gold mine in the short run. Especially if he's able to get a Asgardian Bastion fort up on either this gold mine out here, over on the other or over on the other side. I think he could be laughing, mate. He could also, dude. What about over on this bottom corner? If you look at the minimap, we can see the giraffes, the gold on screen right now. There's a TC down here as well. Does he maybe risk dropping an Asgardian Bastion fort down there, trying to secure that entire bottom side? How do you feel about that?
Well, I think the first thing he has to worry about is how does he deal with that forward gold mine? Because
Yeah.
you get anything sent down here, and life's going to be challenging. I think we've already seen him trying to deal with it. Can we click on an ox cart for Ulysses? I want to see if he's got any eco-ops thus far. On player
pickaxe.
2.
There we go.
Can you go to the player 2 perspective?
Wait, you're asking about El Matador?
Ulysses.
Okay, yeah, there we go. No.
Okay. There we go. Yeah, so he hasn't got hand axe. He hasn't got pickaxe.
Oh, I see what you were looking for.
So this is meaning that Ulysses should be able to advance a little bit quicker. Should be able to defend any of this pressure. After that, yeah, thinking about getting something on the left-hand corner of the map, locking that off, securing that gold mine, securing that food over there as well. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
There's Prometheus coming in. There's the temple right in his face. He's not even trying to hide it. Just, you know what's coming. It is what it is. You got to try and figure it out. How about a temple? Let's look for Ulysses' temple. See what his advance time is maybe going to be looking like. Is he trying to hide his temple at all? Is he maybe just dropping it in maybe the backside of his base?
It looks like it's at the very bottom corner.
Oh, he doesn't see it. And the temple, yeah, that Norse temple down in the bottom corner. That's a good point. Very bottom corner.
Everyone's hiding everything.
There it is. Is it worthwhile to just... Well, what do you think about just drop it in your base? You're gonna expect the deconstruction, but hopefully you can get a Herseer out before he finds it. Is it worth the risk? Because right now that Herseer has a long walk to get to the gold mine.
Yeah, I don't know. I think this is just a safe play. You're gonna take some damage, but you're definitely getting a Herseer out. I think that's all he's thinking.
If he has one out, he just needs at least one. Just one.
He has himself Watchtowers pre-queued as well, man. Ulysses he's playing so terrified of this Kronos thus far, but realistically, he just has to get past this early game and he should be very, very happy. Village is on the shanking action as well. As any small amounts of micro, he should be able to survive one Promethean. And he actually traps it as well, mate.
Nice. Still got to pick up the children Promethean. But that's a nice little bit of victory right there. Dude, Oracle down, Promethean down, Herseer on the other Promethean, Asgardian Bastion in the base. Is he laughing yet, mate?
Is he laughing? I mean, this is a pretty... is this not a pretty, like, overly cautious Asgardian Bastion? I mean, maybe he's just scared that he doesn't want to lose... Just doesn't want to lose the game right now. He's just like, I don't care. We'll just get the hill fort up, get the defenses, defend my gold mine, call it a day.
Yeah.
I mean, you're also right. Like, these Caraballs, so they don't deal with Huskar. Huskar have got all the pierce armor in the world, so they get bonus damage versus Caraballister as well, mind you.
Ooh. Yes, sorry, very true. He's got to get it up, though, man. He's got to get it up. It takes, yes, the Asgardian Bastion builds itself, but it takes a long time. It takes quite a while to get that sucker up, unless you got a bunch of infantry, working on it. So, double hero Kairos, pretty sick. You can still use a deconstruction if you on one of these towers potentially. Things are still getting a little bit dicey for Yuli, but he's looking.
Look at that damage coming through as well. It's so good.
Yes.
Zerk gets a one banged by those Caraballister hero, just two of them, one shot, and he's like, bleh.
Oh yeah, Golan Bursty coming in hot, folks. Coming in hot. Can actually, how well do two Kairos do against Golan Bursty? I guess we won't find out.
I imagine I imagine they die if the Golan Bursty gets onto them, but
a little bit of micro.
That was not a great Gullen burst usage, but it does buy him a little bit of time here.
Sometimes that's all you're asking for, man. Especially when you're getting rushed, that's all you need is just a little bit of time. He needs that hill fort up, get some Huskarls out, get a couple of additional Herseer out. He just needs time.
And Hell Matador is just trying to like sneak through here, gets another Hero Caraballister out, but now the Asgardian Bastion is up,
Yeah.
which means we should be seeing some Huskarl, right?
Okay, eventually. They are heavy on the wood, so he's gotta make sure his wood eco is on point. Honestly, that Golem Burst might have been better used to try and pick off that counter barracks. Maybe even the temple.
Yeah, picking off buildings is it's got a decent amount of damage, like crush damage and everything else. You probably do kill it off.
Yeah. Well, tower's going down. He's still off of the gold, man. He's still off of the gold. He survived. Lily he's survived, but this is still sketchy, boy.
Yeah, one thing that he does have going for him, it's not great because there's an Oracle over here, but he has cut the map off. So for El Matador to get damage done now, he's got to move all the way around this forest, and then Ulysses can just pull back off the gold mine, no problems, and back into his main base and go to the top and go back. So, or if El Matador wants to play a little bit greedy and send just a couple of units, he could take a fight up here.
True. It is, in all fairness, it is only a house that's cutting him off. Like the house and yes, there's the hill fort and the tower and stuff, but if he really wanted to, maybe once he gets more, those Kairos are brutal, dude. Once he gets more numbers, he can maybe bust through.
But buying some time now, you see some raiding cavalry coming out, and now it's scary to be a Caraballister. Get out like 5, 6, 7, 8 Caraballists. You can't have them walking anywhere without those catapulties staying very, very close by.
And if I'm not mistaken, you can see a couple of those hero Kairos are already pretty low HP, so he's got to hang on to those things for dear life. Look how fast those things go down. Ooh.
Yeah, but equally the raiding cavalry do go down. Oh, nice valor there to keep that down. Equally the raiding cavalry go down incredibly quickly as well. If the catapulties are on top of them.
Yeah. Indeed.
But like we already said, I have this feeling that if you just make, obviously you've only got one Asgardian Bastion at the moment, but you've almost got the resources for 2 with the unique technology. You only need 50, I believe it's 50 favor for a second Asgardian Bastion. And if you could just make a whole bunch of Huskarl, you can just break through catapulties like they're nothing, right?
Oh yeah, dude. Huskarls are a great answer to Lannion before before Fanatics and other just heroic and mythic age units come out. It's a possibility. It's gonna take some investment, but yeah, it's a possibility. The forward tower.
I love this. I love it. It's so good. We don't see it enough. What the thing that this does, which is really, really great, is now he doesn't need to leave units over here to like deny this gold mine. So he can kind of say, if I put 2 towers down on that spot, I can swing around and I can just say, no worries, I can leave here. It's all good.
Yep. And there comes the second one coming in hot. I like it, man. I like it. Let's see if those Huskarl numbers are actually going to climb, though. He's had the Asgardian Bastion down for quite some time, but they're pretty wood heavy, man. Huskarls are pretty wood heavy. So it's not
definitely as these raiding cavalry. They're going to try and like delay as much as they can, but I think El Matador, he's starting to get some good damage. I like this here for Yuli. He knows how weak these towers are. 2 villager attacks. And the units on this side can now start getting picked off. Great little move here from Ulysses. You might lose a couple of villagers for it, though.
If you got gold income, that's really all you're looking for. So sometimes you just gotta bite the bullet and do it. Those vills are low HP, though. He's doing a good job hanging in there, though. He's doing a really good job hanging in there. 10.5 minutes into the game. How about Matador? What's at this point in time, Boyd? Like, we got the economies are obviously weaker for Blue, for Ulysses, his nice citizen pick. His eco's been running around half the time, his gold. But the actual military numbers are looking pretty decent for both players. So, as you know, what's the next step for El Matador? He hasn't quite pulled off the gold starve. It's not working. He's dropping forward buildings. He's floating a decent amount of resources. Is he looking at the heroic age? I mean, we don't see any town centers coming up. It seems like maybe heroic is on the mind.
My I my sort of guess of like maybe the correct play would be to continue to get out oracles. Only having 3 out at this moment, kind of really slowing down that Promethean number, and he needs Prometheans to deal with Huskal. I think that's the big thing, and giving her a nice front line. These raiding cavalry look like they're going to be overpowering here, as El Matador looks a little bit caught out.
Very caught out, man. Speaking of a front line, he had a front line of Cairo Ballista. That's not what you want on the front line. You want that on the back line. Ay, ay, ay. That was not a good fight for him to take. It wasn't the worst thing in the world, but he lost a bunch of Kairos and Prometheans there unnecessarily, man. Ay, ay, ay.
Yeah. And Ulysses keep continuing to move back and forth from this home gold mine to the other one. He's sending a unit around there at the moment. The longer this game goes on, the more chance that this is not going to end at a gold starve. So you have to start thinking, if you're El Matador, okay, let's start thinking about what's next in this game. Let's get a town center. Let's secure our own position from raids. Oftentimes when we play for an all-in strat, the game might not end, but you have to be okay with stopping the all-in and starting to like say, I took the damage, I did the damage. Let me continue this game kind of regularly and continue to play.
I agree. That's kind of an interesting aspect, 'cause what you were talking about with Mini Yeti earlier on. He kind of picks a strategy and he sticks with it. He commits to it, which I think is really important, committing to your strategy. But at the same time, you also need to make decisions on the fly. If something's not working out, you got to find out another answer.
Yeah, and now Ulysses is going to start breaking out. These raiding cavalry, they've got free reign over El Matador's economy. He has not set up any sort of defenses for them. He's got watchtowers, but one watchtower is not going to do a whole lot.
Yeah. He sent the rest of them
one
forward.
watchtower. He has one. And there's a couple of catapults here. How many are there? Just is it three versus all these raiding cavalry? I don't think that's enough.
They are six.
Actually, look at the fight there. That's a great little position. Good control there from Matador. Sorry, from Ulysses, but Matador, I think he actually holds there beautifully with very, very little effort. Wow.
Yeah. Catapulties have so much bonus damage against those RC, man. It's so brutal.
Well,
there we go. It's 40 favor, by the way. Second one coming in hot.
Yep,
coming in cold? It's coming in cold.
It's everything with Norse is cold, right? Except for the Inferno. That one's probably pretty hot.
Fleming weapons, that's pretty hot stuff.
True.
Anyway. Speaking of hot stuff, man, and cold stuff, we got 3 Draugr. Now, if you can eventually get an upgrade on those Draugr, those things become pretty darn sick. Early on, they're kind of like trolls. Early on, lower numbers, your enemy can pick them off without the most difficulty in the world. But once you can get them upgraded, more range and whatnot, you get them upgraded, you get those things sitting around one of those hill forts behind walls, you have a front line, those Draugr start to become pretty sick. So I actually really like that Ulysses is getting a couple of those bad boys out. Takes a long time to upgrade them. But still, I think that's potentially a really sick option there against those, against those catapulties. Catapulties doing so much damage against RC.
Yeah, and
that's
I guess also with Ulysses going heroic age now through Aegir, that gives them a little bit more of a boost for those Draugr. So yeah, grabbing that upgrade and actually playing into them makes a lot of sense.
Could be nice.
At the moment, like Ulysses, he's playing Fred. This god, you just kind of sit back and you just say, "All right, just keep attacking me, and eventually I'll overpower you." Right? That's the main thing. Either I'll overpower you or I'm just going to die. So he doesn't need to do anything just yet. He's going to have this Tempest god power, which is going to allow him to probably either defend a position or either maybe win a fight. So I think Ulysses is going to be very happy at the moment.
Well, like, we've seen little skirmishes, a bunch of little skirmishes. We haven't seen a really, really big engagement. Both players have been really cautious, not to overcommit and lose their whole army one way or the other. Ulysses just jumping around. But now at this point in time, armies are big enough, units are strong enough. Like things are crap's starting to get real here. So this is where
This could
Tempest
be
is
this.
going to really open up the door for
I
a
love this little gate here. This little
yes.
wall from El Matador is able to completely prevent those raiding cavalry from getting any value. And also you don't really want to click in Tempest here because the unit's just going to run through the wall and just get out of dodge, and you just leave that front position, no worries.
Okay.
Just some
That's a
great
lot of
control with the
Chiral
Caraballister. That's a lot. I tell you, my little rule for Caraballister: 4. No more than 4, just 4. Don't build more than 4 of these bad boys because they're really good. You don't need any more. And I don't want. If I get caught out, then I don't lose the game.
Boy, it's been burned. Same
I
here.
have been burned. Yep. Oh, this is the Inferno. Oh, not Inferno. Tempest.
Tempest. Speaking of getting burned, he's getting frozen here. But look how quickly El Matador is able to react and get out of there. Sure, the Catapultes getting slowed down a lot, but he survives that pretty decently so, I would say.
Yeah, I think El Matador is fine here. Like, he's dodged the entirety of that. He's now got some behemoths now to jump into this fight, and I don't think Ulysses is going to be happy with that. Oh my god, those Toxotes getting deleted. Not to throw an axe. What am I talking about? Throw an axe with. Oof.
Oh boy. Ooh, the wall upgrade. That's nice. Yeah, are you kidding me? Boy, maybe you want to make more than 4. Look at that. Are you kidding me?
I think these things that these Caraballister got a little bit of value, I think.
Here we go. Here we go. Those behemoths pushing in. Maybe can pick off this Asgardian Bastion. This is looking sketch for blue, dude. Oh, and the mountain giant or the rock giants gets tradered. There's a lot of siege potential here on this position. For Matador in the red.
I don't think Ulysses can hold here. He's gonna lose the Asgardian Bastion. He's gonna lose all his units. He's gonna lose the gold mine. He's got a second town center behind him, but he's tapped out, and we're going to game number 2 here.
Dude, things were just ramping up for Ulysses playing Freyr. Things were just ramping up. Oh boy, did that change. Wow. Wow.
I was talking about that position with that wall meant that Tempest was not usable on that position. Because you can just run back through it. You can't get any value there. You have to kill off the wall to get in and get damage off. And Ulysses drops it. I don't know what he was thinking was going to happen, but beautiful reaction from El Matador, retreats back, waits the Tempest out, and then on the retreat, my god, those throwing axemen just melted. That was all of his. That was all he needed. Those units to kill off the Catapultes, and then all of a sudden, raiding cavalry not very good against what's remaining there.
Yeah, exactly. Tempest, man, you got to be. Tempest is one of those god powers that it takes execution, man. It takes a little bit of planning and execution, as we see this around here by the Prometheans. Well done by Ulysses to just go for it.
This early game was just, I think it was really well played by, I think it was well played by both players, to be honest, but sometimes defending is a lot harder than attacking, and I think you can probably say that this is one of those situations, and Ulysses did a great job keeping himself alive against this early pressure. I think he got himself into a great position, but yeah, this moment here, he catches all of those infantry out, but he's not doing any damage to them while they're running away.
I mean, you can see that like there's a handful that die, a handful get frozen. There's some low HP, but in general, that was pretty well countered by just the instant reaction. It's kind of like lightning storm. Like some of these god powers can be so destructive, but it takes a little bit of prep and execution. I think Tempest is one of them.
Yeah, and this run back, this is the thing which happens with all players. We box click and we run back, go into a formation you don't want the units to be in, and all of a sudden you lose out all of that army. Look at the difference. Ulysses is back to full population at the moment, but how's he going to take this fight? A gate
Look at the
through
population.
that wall? Where's the gate? He could have gated the wall, got onto the Caraballister. He might have actually been able to defend here.
Oh my god. Yeah, look at all those RC just standing, chilling. Ay, ay, ay. The Drago barely did anything. throwing Axeman against the Rock Giant. Dude, this is just poor micro from Ulysses. I'm sorry, Ulysses. This was just poor micro from Ulysses, and dude, he got smoked in that fight.
And that's exactly right. He's going to have to put that one out of his mind right now. He's going to be moving into the next game on Step. Uranus versus Loki here. Tell me what we're going to see here, Maiden, because we got to put that one behind us. It's done. We've got another Atlantean versus Norse matchup.
Yeah, El Matador going for Atlantean again. We see he's been playing so much Thor. It would have been really exciting to see him with Thor, but Ulysses says, I'm banning that guy, first thing. Honestly, boy, aside from what we are gonna see, let me tell you what I want to see. I don't necessarily miss Loki Hall of Thane's Hersier spam. I don't necessarily miss it because it was so annoying to play against, and I just lost against it constantly. But is that viable anymore? Like, this is the reason why I'm talking about it is because this is such an open map, and I just think there potentially is a lot of viability for that here. But is that a thing anymore in Retold? We've seen a couple people do it, but
I think the player who I've seen attempting it the most, and maybe obviously there's other people doing it, Mister's done it, but the player who's probably put the most effort into maybe constructing a really, really interesting way of playing Loki Herser, like pure, is Gubu. This guy, Loki main, he gets himself banned out of Loki every single game. Don't get to see it in the tournaments, but he's really, really good at it. The thing that he does that's amazing, and maybe it's not so good on this map because it's very open, is he's able to constantly be moving his villagers out of harm's way while also inflicting damage with his Herser. And I guess the big power spike from going for a lot of Herser is you can get to the Mythic Age. So it's all about sort of delaying and delaying and delaying, and then you get a Nidhogg, and then you get Fire Giants, and then you say, come deal with this. So yes, it is possible to go for this strategy, but I think it's really, really tricky. And especially when you're going up against Uranus, who's got access to those Murmillos.
You don't think the flaming weapons push with Hersier is the way? Well, I mean, you went straight to Mythic. What about flaming weapons?
Flaming weapons against Uranus? Do you really want to deal with the Sky Passage? You just run away, right?
Well, yeah.
I'll leave my base. I don't care. Kill my talent center. I'm just gonna run with everything, wait it out, and I'm gonna come kill you with my Murmillos. Because those Herso don't beat, but they don't beat Bite of the Shark Murmillos. Let me tell you that much.
That's actually a really good point. Bite of the Shark, man. Bite of the Shark, that's brutal.
Bite of the Herser. There's a lot of interesting ways to play this matchup. You don't have to go Herser. You can go for like a more standard Norse approach. The Uranus player can open Terma and go into Murmillo. The Uranus player can go straight into Murmillo. You can even try and go for Prometheans if he feels like the Loki player is not a Herser user, right? We're not going to be going. There's a lot of like options, I would say. But anyways, we're going to find out what these guys want to go for. Wouldn't be surprised to see Caraballas to Maiden, but we're getting into game number 2 right now. As we see in the top of the map, it's going to be El Matador in the red color as the Uranus, and Ulysses at the bottom of the map in the blue color, playing as Loki.
Lots of starting hunt. Love to see it as a Norse player. It's just delicious. It's beautiful. Actually, so speaking of hunt, Boyd, who has the advantage 5 minutes into the game? Who has the advantage here? 5 to 6 minutes, who has the advantage?
I don't think that anyone can really get anything significant done at 5 minutes. Like, you don't want to attack the Loki because his units are a little bit stronger. And the Loki doesn't want to attack the Uranus because there's going to be a Caladric hanging around. Mm-hmm. So it's... And all Valors, I guess. So most of the time, you're mostly just looking for little picks onto villages that are out of the way. And if there's an army there to defend, you kind of just say, all right, I'm sorry, I was just kidding, just joking, I'm leaving, bye-bye.
Well, aside from inflicting damage, part of the value or benefit of being the aggressor and taking the initiative is that you are forcing the opponent to defend rather than attack
Yeah.
you. So you're not
Yeah.
not necessarily finding damage, but you're also preventing damage upon yourself.
I guess in that sense, the player who's most likely going to be moving out first,
Yeah, yeah.
it would be the Uranus, unless the Uranus player decides to go for sky passages early. In which case, he's
hmm
just going to sort of play like, I'm going to attack my sky passage, and then I can pop out with my units and kill you.
And here's the part of the tricky thing I think is the scouting ability of Loki. You can only get so much scouted with your one berserk before you have to come back, as we see right there. Yep, exactly. Before you have to come back and build your temple, right? And if you're
Mm.
looking at some of the resource options, we just saw, boom, we see gazelles up in the very top corner. Over on the left hand side, we see another group of some kind of a hunt. So thinking, yeah, kind of in the middle of these two vodka, yeah, right there, another patch of deer. So I don't think Ulysses sees kind of the sensitive spots. So I think there's a lot of potential for the Sky Passage play to get value from that economic value from that Sky Passage play. Because if and when Ulysses moves out, he's going to be doing so very blind. I don't think he's used Spy either. So
Oh
he
wow!
really, and there's or
Okay,
Slay.
I'm a little. I'm not. I guess I'm not shocked, but I'm also a little bit like we're seeing Prometheus again for El Matador, and I think the reason is
Hmm,
Valor on a Carabalista. That's real value now. That's huge value. So
yeah.
I think this is why we're seeing this. But this does mean now Ulysses doesn't have to worry about that Bite of the Shark Milo problem you were talking about before, and there
hmm
is real possibility for you to just sort of run around the map with Hall of Thane's Hersa. Those Caraballists are slow. They're fat. They have they're built. They're built. Okay, they're built. It's muscle. It's muscle. Okay. But
It's a
yeah, they
big
move
wagon.
very very
Okay.
slowly. They move very very slowly, and I think the Nidhogg's a great. I'm talking very very far in the future, right? The Nidhogg's a great way of dealing with a massive amount of Caraballista in like I don't know 20 minutes into the game if it goes there.
There's our awkward alluvial clay. You remember in the Matador? Was it? Let's see. Was it Matador Mista game where we're talking about like countering the counterplay and predicting the counter to the counterplay? That's how far ahead Boyd's thinking. Boyd's thinking. Boyd's thinking about Nidhogg countering Kairos. As we're 4 minutes into the game here, there's still plenty of game to play before we get there. Boyd, you hold your horses there.
I'm holding them. But I mean,
Yep.
okay. What's difficult about dealing with Catapulti's Caraballista? It's that well, you can't really throw an axeman to kill the Catapultis because the Caraballista kill them off so fast. Can't really build raiding cavalry to kill off Caraballista because the Catapultis kill them off so fast. So what can you realistically build? And I guess the answer has to be some sort of myth unit, right? Maybe there's something Huskal as well. Good, I guess.
Yeah, we didn't really see a lot of value from Huskarls in the previous game,
No,
now did
no,
we?
we didn't. No, we didn't.
Well, he's going for double longhouse, so he's going for berserks. Um, I don't know how many he's gonna mass up, but if you can get Hall of Thanes, get some speedy berserks. If there are some random Kairos out around the map, you can pick them off, even though with just a little group of berserks. If you're active and have a little bit of luck on your side, so I don't know. There's maybe some potential as he's pushed into the hunt here.
This is a nice little bit of damage onto the troll. There is going to be a healing spring. Oh, I like this on the back here. This is lots of
Let's see.
berserks coming out actually for Ulysses. He's not going to be able to get much damage done as he's trading away. Those are so powerful. Those hero Caraballista, mate. You can't. They're scary. Imagine this. Imagine you're playing against a Egyptian player, and these Caraballista are 3 axemen apiece. Do you run your berserk into 6 axemen here? Answer: no. Of course you don't do that. That's what they are. These are counter infantry.
That's a fair point. That's a fair point. He doesn't. Okay, so having said that, Ulysses does. He's getting medium infantry right now, and he does not yet have Hall of Thanes. So I think he needs to wait to take some engagements until he's got a couple of what upgrades on his side. Then he can maybe pick off some Kairos running across the map, but not before then.
You remember like Legacy sort of Norse versus Zeus sort of shenanigans, right? Where you would ignore the main bulk of the army attacking you and you'd send your dudes into the center of the map. That's 100%
That's what I'm thinking.
the way to go. You just prevent any units, any reinforcements from coming in. And it's really tough to deal with that.
Troll getting smashed, man. Ay. Dude,
Ulysses is sending the boys in. He's so scared. He needs to take a fight right now. These villagers got bonus damage against the Carabalster. It's another one of the weaknesses that they have. Shockwave, though, there from El Matador as he disengages beautifully.
Oh, but the Hersier, did he get kills? Oh, dude. Those things are so low. Go heal those suckers up, man. That's what, 5 Hersier. He's gonna need those.
It's a lot, and now the main base gold mine is under attack. He's misclicked him a little bit, charging. No, they are very good at killing villagers as well, it seems.
Oh, dude. Shoot, scoot, smash, shred. Look at those Earths are going down. They're already so low HP. The Prometheans can just punch them down. Oh, but the RC boy and the Vills.
The Raiding Cavalry are in on the back, but there are the Catapultis out. El Matador still controlling those Caraballister beautifully here. One shank away from killing the one on the bottom. But even if you survive here, mate, you've got 20 villages, 18 villages left.
Go, little dwarfy! Go, little dwarfy! Oh, no.
And that's the series. It's over. It's done.
Okay. What a way to finish the day. Okay. Ouch, man. That had to hurt. Yeah, Hero Kairos, man, can you imagine pulling that off in Legacy AOM? Going straight Cairo Ballista and Prometheans from the get-go and just going across the map?
I reckon Soup would have done it. That was just real. Like in a way, El Matador. I don't know exactly how much of this was sort of just practiced, how much of it was reaction to the moment, but Ulysses played directly into that strategy. You see this already. There's 2 Hero Caravels out, and he goes in with immediately 5 Berserks trying to take these back. You're not killing off 2 Hero Caravels with 5 Berserks. You're not killing. No way are you killing those off. And Ulysses just can't make it work, can he?
Legacy bias, dude. I think that's partially what it comes down to. Legacy bias. He underestimated the Kairos. Sick shockwave right there. And look at that. Boom! The Hersier. Again. Boom! Hersier barely sneak out alive, and they only healed up a teensy tiny amount before they're back in action.
Well, I mean what a crazy day though for Age of Mythology. We saw a bunch of insane games. It was really, really entertaining. We saw some very close upsets, I think, as well. And I mean, what else can be said that hasn't already been said? These dwarfs sending in the boys at the very end as well. This is your tournament life on the line. You've got to do something.
Yeah,
just not enough, was it?
Pretty good micro there by Matador to wrap things up and finish them off. But man, threw in the kitchen sink and everything at those Kairos. They're too strong these days, folks. Nerf Cairo Ballista.
Nerf Cairo. As soon as
they get a little love,
has any success in a game of Age of Mythology, it's nerf it straight away.
No.